Quest 10, Castle of Mystery. Long ago, a wizard named Olar discovered the entrance to a gold mine. Using his great powers, he built a magic castle above the mine to protect it. The lower chamber of the castle has many magical doors and is guarded by a host of monsters who were trapped in time. Can you find the entrance to the gold mine? Others have tried, but the castle thwarted them every time. So we are back with the Castle of Mystery. Now, this is a little different than the typical dungeon crawl that most of these adventures are, in that it's kind of a basic old-fashioned teleportation trap dungeon. So what you're going to do is each character is going to walk through, let me get these guys out of the way, one of these doors. And when they walk through a door, they'll be transported to that particular other door. So since we walk through this one here and we roll a 5, then the first character would roll through here. If they land on another character that's occupying a space, that character takes a point of damage and it sends the character off to another door. So we'll basically go ahead and start, and I've got the guys set up here, and they're going to start walking through the door in their normal order that they kind of go through. So we'll start with the Barbarian Chuck, and then Leadbelly. We'll follow that with the Elf Lulabelle, and then the Wizard Oregano. So we got those guys set up. I think I've got everybody set up with their cards. So the Barbarian rolls, and what a surprise! He finds himself in room 7, and immediately he's set upon by 4 orcs. Now, I'm not sure whether to roll everybody out somewhere or to... I guess we'll do that. We'll just assume these guys go conga line of death through, and we get a 3 for the dwarf. So we'll move him here. I'm going to move these door things there. We've got Lulabelle goes with a 6, and she moves here with a mummy. And then finally, with an 11, Oregano goes. And Oregano is going to come over here. I think that's an empty room that Oregano's at. Lucky him. Okay. Let's start with the Barbarian. He went first, and we're going to roll for the orcs. And they get a 2. Let's see. Chuck goes with a 4. So Chuck is able to attack. And Chuck has a, let's see, got a +1 helmet, a +1 shield, and a broadsword. So 3 dice. Let's get our right dice here. Against an orc, so immediately moves in place here. And attacks. Okay, so 1 hit goes through. The orcs have a defense of 2. I always double check that, and nothing. So that's the end of that orc. Okay. Then the orcs get to go. So this orc will move here. This orc will move here. Let's see, an orc can move points 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, he'll move in because we want to glom on there. Okay, first orc goes with an attack dice of 3 and hits, and Chuck gets to go with a 2, 3, 4 and defends. Okay, next orc goes with 3 die. 2 hits. Chuck defends with 4. And saves, and then the third one goes 1 hit. Chuck defends with 4 and saves. And like I say, it'll be easier just to do these one at a time. Actually, we ought to clear the dungeon pretty quick, but it basically forces each character to fight on their own. Okay, broadsword of 3, and we'll just attack. Let's attack the orc closest to the. Now let's attack this orc right here. Two hits. Orc saves. Nope. Okay. Orc dies. And then the orc goes. 2 orcs are going. First orc with 1 Save. Second orc with none. Okay. Go to the next turn. Chuck gets a 2. Orcs get a 2. Chuck gets a 5. Orcs get a 3. So Chuck goes. 1 hit against an orc. And the orc saves with that there. Okay, now both orcs get to go. 1 hit. Saves. The other orc goes 2 hits. And 2 saves. Okay, next turn. 1 for Chuck. 5 for the orcs. 2 hits. 1 save. So Chuck goes to his first... he's now at 7 points. Okay. Let's see. That was the first orc. Second orc goes with 3 hit. Let's see. Nothing. Okay, now Chuck goes. Chuck LaBeef. Or Chuck Norris, I guess. Let's see. What do we got for them? 3 dice. And 1 on the orc. Orc goes to try to save. Does not save, so that kills that orc. And then we go to the next round. Whoops. Chuck goes with 3. Orc goes with 4. Orc attacks with 3. 1 hit. Chuck saves. Chuck goes with 3. 1 hit. Orc defends and defends. Okay, next turn. 4 for Chuck. 2 for the orc. Gets 2 on the orc. Orc saves. Nope, not enough. So that's the end of that orc. And we draw for a card. And we get gold. Okay, 15 gold points. Or gold pieces. Gold points. I don't know what I'm talking about here. And I need a pencil. Okay, here we go. We'll just discard this card. And so he's left alone in room 7. Okay, let's see. Our dwarf goes. Now he comes across 2 zombies and a skeleton. We'll see who gets to go first. Dwarf gets a 6, and these other guys get a 6. Dwarf gets a 5. Other guys get a 2. So he's going to go against the skeleton. And let's see. He's got that battle axe. And the battle axe does 4 combat die. And he's also wearing that special armor. Whoops. And I think we also got some chainmail for Lulabelle. I forgot that. So, okay, let's go with battle axe of 4. 1 hit on a skeleton. Monster cards for skeletons are he defends at 2. Does not defend. And skeletons have 1 body point, so that's it for the skeleton. Okay, and then the zombies get to go, and a zombie can move 5. So there and there, and zombies attack with 2. Nothing, and 2 hits. And let's see, the dwarf has 5 die, so easily defends. Okay, we go to the next turn. Dwarf goes, lead belly, and the zombies go. Try it again. Zombies get initiative. Okay, so the zombies are going to go again with 2 die. 1, those are 2 hits. 1 defense, so the dwarf takes a point of damage. And let's see, then the other zombie had to go. 1 hit. Defends easily. Okay, now the dwarf goes against a zombie and easily destroys the zombie with 4. Wow. Okie doke, next turn. 4 for the dwarf. 2 for the zombie. 2 hits on the zombie. Zombie defends at 2. No, 3. 2 hits on the zombie, which will be enough with... Oh, I gotta see if the zombie defends. Nope. No. Okay, so the zombie doesn't able to defend. And then we draw a card and a hazard. So basically, the dwarf hits a crack in the floor and takes the body point damage, we'll just say. Okay, that's the next one. this will be over pretty quick. Let's see. Next is going to be Lulabelle. And like I said, Lulabelle has a suit of chainmail that we bought her. I got to remember that. And chainmail gives her a defense of 1 extra combat die. So she's got a defense now of 3. I don't think you can use that with a hat or a helm. Okay. We roll our first for Lulabelle. She gets a 6 to the mummy's 5. So she gets to attack the mummy. And she's got 2 attack die. This could be kind of hard. I think what she's going to do is, let's just go over and see what she's got for spells. Deep Sleep. Now, the monster falls asleep immediately, and it stays asleep until the evil wizard player's next turn. It can't defend against the hero's attack while it's asleep. So basically, it would keep it from attacking. We've also got an elixir of life and a hypnotic blaze. Okay, let's do the hypnotic blaze. We're going to cast that for our turn. And when this spell's cast, an illusion of a huge animated flame appears. And the critter rolls a 1 red die. And if they roll equal to or less than their mind points, they're unaffected. If not, they're out for 3 turns. So this guy has a mind points of 0. Which it's not going to be able to roll, so that does the trick. So basically 3 turns Lulabelle has to attack. And she's got a attack of 2. She's also got a bow, or crossbow. Did I give her? Okay, so she has a crossbow of 3 and then a short sword of 2. So she's going to move and shoot arrows at him 3 times for 3 die. Okay. She gets 1 hit in, and Mummy has a defense of, I think, 4. Does not defend, so that Mummy takes 1. That was the first attack. Second attack was 2. Mummy defends with 1, so that's another hit, and that destroys the Mummy. She discards that, and we draw a card. Potion of Healing. Well, we can use that. And you know what? I'm just looking over my sheet here. I don't think she does have a... I think we bought her a short bow, and that's... Or, I mean, a crossbow. Does anybody have any more armor than... No, let's see. I guess we did not buy armor. We didn't have enough, so... Okay. That's okay. She doesn't have the armor. We'll just take that away from her. Okay, so that's Lulabelle. Now we go to... Sorry about being confusing here. This dude. Oregano. Oh, 11 is in here. And there are 2 Chaos Warriors. And actually the Chaos Warriors should have been here. So Oregano will go with a spell. Or actually we got to see who goes first. Oregano 5, Chaos Warriors 5, Oregano 5, Chaos Warriors 3. Oregano casts a spell. And actually we're going to cast 2 spells. We're going to cast Ball of Flame and Ball of Flame. We're going to cast 2 balls of flame. And let's see. So the first one, if they inflict 2 points of damage, and the monster then rolls 2 red die, and for each 5 or 6, the damage is reduced by 1 point. Okay, so they're going to make a saving throw, essentially. So we'll go with this guy first. Rolls 2 and takes a point of damage. Okay. We can discard that. The other guy goes, and he also makes a save, so he's at 2. And we can discard that. And he can cast, the Oregano can cast 2 spells. Then our 2 guys are going to here and here. And Chaos Warriors are tough. Let's see, Chaos Warrior attacks at 4. And Oregano defends at 2. Okay, so Chaos Warrior 1 goes with 3 hits. Oregano defends at 2, so Oregano takes a point. Okay. Next guy goes 3. Oregano defends at 2. Nope, that's not 2. Let's start it over, because I messed up. Give him a point back. Let's do a do-over. Okay, so guy's going to attack with 4. Whoops, 5. Let's go 4. 2 hits. Oregano defends at 2 and defends. Okay, the other Chaos Warrior goes with 4. Nothing. Okay. We roll. Oregano gets a 4. Chaos Warriors get a 6. So first Chaos Warrior goes with 4. Hits with 1. Oregano defends with nothing. So we're going to go to 3. Okay. Next Chaos Warrior attacks with 4 with 3 hits. Oregano defends with 2. So that's nothing. So that's 0. Poor Oregano. Oregano dies. He was... we hardly knew you. Now I'm going to have to roll up a new character. Okay. Next, our Barbarian will go. We roll 2 die, and we get to 5. Goes in here with a Chaos Knight. Okay. The Dwarf goes, rolls 2, and gets a 7. That's a 7, 7, 7. Where are you, 7? Gets here. Nothing. Okay. And then the Elf goes and gets a 10. It ends up in here with 3 more Orcs. Okay. So, we'll start with the Barbarian. And Barbarian rolls for initiative. Gets a 6, and the Chaos Warrior gets a 4. I don't think there's anything special about this Chaos Warrior. No. The only thing we need to know is this there's a trapdoor here in 8 that it'll lead you down to a gold mine filled with fake gold. So basically it takes everybody out of action if they want to take their gold. So it's... And then these 2 guys have a, if they're defeated, they have a Ring of Return on the artifact card. So, okie doke. Back to fighting. A 3 for the attack from Chuck, and a Chaos Warrior defends at 4. Doesn't make it, so the Chaos Warrior takes a point. Okay, the Chaos Warrior goes, and they have 4 attack die. Oh, 4 hits against Chuck. So Chuck takes the 4 hits. Oh gosh, I forgot to... I screwed something up. Okay, let's finish it up, but I'm going to bring back... the wizard. So we will bring him back from the dead because he could have thrown a spell, and I'm going to let him do that. I just get distracted when I'm doing this solo. So, okay, back to this. This guy takes 4 hits, and Chuck defends with 4. Okay, so he takes 3. Okay. We roll for initiative. 4 to the Chaos Warrior's 6. Chaos Warrior rolls for 4 attacks. 3 hits. Defends at 4. That's 2 hits. Okay. And then we're going to allow the Barbarian to roll. He's going to drink his potion. He's got a potion of curing. Let's see here. We got a potion of defense, potion of defense, potion of defense, potion of healing. He does not. He's got a potion of defense, which adds 2 die. Okay, so he's going to drink that. It'll be good for another turn. And then he's going to attack with 3. Nothing. Okay, we roll again. Gets a 3. Chaos Warrior gets a 5. So the Chaos Warrior is going to roll with 4. Gets 4 hits. Chuck's going to roll with 6. 1 hit. Goes through. Okay, Chuck's going to go. Gets 2 hits on the Chaos Warrior. Chaos Warrior defends at 4. And sends Chaos Warrior to 1. Okay, and we can drink another defense potion. So Chuck gets another defense potion. Chaos Warrior... Oh, we roll for initiative. So Chaos Warrior gets initiative again. Chaos Warrior attacks with 4. 1 point. Chuck defends at 4. At 6. And defends for 2. Okay, Chuck gets to go with 3 die. 3 hits. Chaos Warrior defends at 4. Doesn't defend, and that's the end of him. And we draw Wandering Monster. Now, with the Wandering Monster, basically the evil wizard that designed this place comes out, chuckles, and then disappears. His ghost does, so nothing there. Okay. Let's go back. So we're going to retcon this a little bit. Our wizard was here. Let's see. Wizard was here with 4 points. I think we had 3 points. We went down to 0. And the wizard had a spell. Wizard can cast a spell on themselves, which we're going to do. A water of healing. And that will save their bacon. Bring him back to 4. Okay, now let's go back to the next turn. Wizard gets a 3. Chaos Warriors get a 1. Wizard's going to pop through that door. I think they've realized that this is not going to come out well. So we roll, and we get an 8. Boop. Okay, Wizard's there. Okay, now we're back into present time. So we got the wizard, the dwarf's doing nothing, and then the elf is over here. And the elf has an inventory of... I got sleep and I got elixir of life. I don't know if the sleep can... I think I'll hang on to that. Yeah, no, I won't. I'll cast that. Well, first of all, we got to see who goes first. Elf goes 3. Orcs go 5. Orc moves into place. Orc moves into place. Orc moves into place. And we said the elf did not have... Well, I'm not sure. We said the elf did not have the chainmail. We will buy that for them next time. So the elf's still back at the good old 2 or 3 for... Let's see, elf... Defensive 2. Okay. Again, sorry if that's confusing everybody. I apologize. Hang with me here. Let's see. And that's the thing that happens with these. I usually get to going into them, and then I kind of enter the zone and forget so much stuff when I'm doing these games. I apologize for that. Okay, 10. So first dwarf, or first orc goes, and orcs have a attack of 3. And we attack with 3, nothing. Second one goes. Attack of 3, nothing. Third one goes. Attack of 1. And the elf defends and makes the defense. Okay, the elf is going to cast... See, that's the problem. Elves don't really have an offensive capability. Don't have much in the way. We can't really... And we can't fire with our bow. Can't move in there. So we're kind of stuck with our attack die of 2 on an orc, and an orc has a defense of 2. Okay, well, it kills an orc. We roll for initiative. Elf gets a 5. Orc gets a 1. Elf goes again. Nothing. Orc goes. 1 hit. Elf defends. Defends. Other orc goes. Nothing. We go to the next turn. 6 for the elf. 1 for the orc. Elf attacks at 2. Makes a hit. Orc defends at 2. Does not make it. Okay. Orc gets to go. Gets 2 hits. Elf defends. Nothing. Okay, so the elf is now at 4. We go to the next turn. 3 for the elf. 6 for the orc. Orc attacks. Gets 1. Elf defends. Makes the defense. Elf attacks. Gets nothing. Go to the next turn. 6 for the elf. 4 for the orc. Elf attacks with 2. Hits 2. Orc defends at 2. Doesn't defend, so the orc is gone. We draw a card and get some jewels. Okay, and that ends that little turn, I guess. Discard card. Okay. Now, let's see what's going to go on. I think what we're going to do, somehow we got to get out of here for the wizard. I'll start with the barbarian. Barbarian rolls a 11. Okay, good place for the barbarian. Dwarf rolls a 4. And the elf rolls a 6. So nothing. Oh, okay, and then the wizard rolls a 6. So the wizard lands on the elf, gives the elf a point of damage. And then the elf has to roll and gets a 2, and the elf's going to sit right there. Okay. And I think the elf will go ahead and roll for a... We use their potion of healing. So we'll roll to see how much heal. 1 point. 1 measly point. 4. Okay, everybody is moved to their proper place. The we'll start with the big bad barbarian. Chuck goes. Oh, we got to roll for initiative. 6 for Chuck. Chaos guys get 3. Chuck drinks his potion of defense, and that'll give him 2 extra defense, and he gets to attack. So he goes ahead and goes with 3 die. 2 hits on the Chaos Warrior. And the Chaos Warrior defends at 4. Does not make it. So I think that's it for the Chaos Warrior. Yep. Okay, the other Chaos Warrior does get a go. And he has attack die of 4. Makes 2 hits, and then for this round, Chuck will go with 6 and easily clears it. So we go to the next turn. 1 for Chuck, 3 for the Chaos Warrior. Chaos Warrior goes against 1. Chuck goes with 4 and makes it. Chuck attacks with 3. Gets 2 hits on the Chaos Warrior. Chaos Warrior defends at 4 and does not defend. And that's it for the Chaos Warrior. Put these guys back over here. That is it for those guys. Some jewels. Another 50 gold pieces. Okay, I'm glad I went ahead and let the wizard go, because I don't want to re-roll another character. Not that you really re-roll them, but... discard. Okay. Dwarf. The dwarf is... gonna go. Let's see who goes here. 2 orcs against the dwarf. Dwarf 4, orcs 2. Dwarf goes and attacks, and the dwarf has that weapon of 4, and defends that 6, I think. Okay, so the dwarf's pretty tough. 4 dice against an orc. That's 2 hits. The orc defends at 2. Nothing. So that's the end of the orc. Second orc goes, and orcs have 3. 1 hit. Actually 6. No, it doesn't get through. We roll for initiative. 6 for the dwarf. 4 for the orc. We'll say the orc moves up there. Leadbelly goes with 4 die and easily destroys the orc. We draw, and again we have the evil ghost come out and go, "You shall die!" And that's it. Okay, let's clear everything and just see where we're at. Oh, and then we've got this ring of when we killed this Chaos Warrior, the barbarian found. Let's pull our artifacts. The Ring of Return. So basically, when involved, this magical ring will return all heroes that the ring wearer can see to the starting point of the quest, and it can only be used once. Well, that might be handy. So that can come in kind of handy. So okay, we are ready to go to the next turn. I think I'll stay put here with my elf. We will have the barbarian go. These guys are not in. So the barbarian goes with a 5 over here. The dwarf goes with an 8 and he finds all this gold. And the wizard goes with a 5. Boop, pops right on the... Oh no! And that kills Chuck. Chuck dies. So his body goes off. I'll say that we can loot him. Poor Chuck. Okay, there's another barbarian. Barbarians don't live long in this. Okie doke. We go to the next turn. And basically, we're going to roll until we get a 9. So whoever gets the 9 first. So dwarf goes for an 8. The wizard goes with a 8. Dwarf goes with a 4. Wizard goes with a 7. Dwarf goes with an 8. Wizard 6. Dwarf 10. Wizard 6. Dwarf 4. Wizard 8. Dwarf 6. Wizard 7. Dwarf 8. Wizard 11. Dwarf 3. Wizard 6. 8 for the dwarf. 12 for the wizard. 5 for the dwarf. 4 for the wizard. 3. There's a 9 for the dwarf. Okay, so now finally the dwarf goes down to room 9. And we'll say the wizard just pops out of here. He's done. Okay, so the dwarf this will be the final combat. We'll just, like I said, this is kind of a messy one, but that's okay. We'll just, dwarf gets a initiative of 6, 4 for the wizard, or 4 for the, let's see, what do we got? Skeletons, lots of skeletons and a mummy. Okay, so the dwarf gets to go. I think he's going to hit the mummy, first of all. And he's got a 4. 1 hit. The mummy saves at 4. Mummy does not save. Okay. Now the guy, these guys get to go. Skeleton will move around. So 2 skeletons and a mummy. We'll go for the mummy first. Mummy has an attack of 3. Gets 1 on the dwarf. Ah, the dwarf didn't save. Okay. Change BP to 4. And the That was the mummy went. Then the skeletons will go. 2 and 2. 2 hits and... So 1 for the dwarf. The dwarf is change BP to 3 because I want to say the dwarf, if you have 4 and the dwarf starts initially with a defense of 2, wouldn't that be 6? So for defense. Okay. We roll for initiative. 6 for the dwarf, 2 for the undead. Dwarf attacks with 4 against the mummy with 1. Mummy defends at 4. Nothing, so the mummy's gone. Skeleton 1 goes with 2. Gets a point. Dwarf defends. Skeleton 2 goes. Nothing. Okay, we go to initiative. 3 for the dwarf. 6 for the skeletons. Skeleton 1 goes with a 2 hits. Defense. That's the 2. Other skeleton goes with 1 hit. Defense easily. Okay. And then dwarf goes. Makes 2 hits on a skeleton. Skeleton defends at 2. And does not defend. Okay. And now we go to the next initiative. Dwarf 2, skeleton 5. Skeleton attacks with 1 hit. Dwarf defends. Dwarf attacks, 2 hits. Skeleton defends. And nothing. So that's it for the skeleton. We roll for a heroic brew. And let's see. An heroic lets you have 2 attacks. Okay, so we're going to assume the dwarf then tries to drag the gold out, which has to be fool's gold. And eventually these 3 end up getting out and also looting the body of their good friend Chuck. So we're going to have to go to the end and find the inn, there's a difference, and find a new barbarian for our group. Anyway, that's what I got. I don't know if I really played this well. This is one where you really can't do solitaire. I don't think it's a great solitaire dungeon, but anyway, it's kind of fun for something a little different. Okay, we will be right back with the next quest. Quest 11, Bastion of Chaos. Lands to the east have been plagued by marauding orcs and goblins. The Emperor has ordered that a band of worthy heroes should be sent forth to destroy them. The orcs are well protected in a strong underground fortress known as the Bastion of Chaos. They are led by a small group of chaos warriors. You must fight your way in and kill all of the monsters you find. A hero will be paid a bounty of 10 gold coins for each goblin killed, 20 gold coins for each orc killed, 30 gold coins for each femur killed, and 50 gold coins for each chaos warrior killed. Okay, I've gone through and worked on revising who has what. Basically, Leadbelly now has Baron's armor, and so that gives him an AC of 6. Lulabelle, I gave her that chainmail, so she now has an AC of 3. She has the crossbow for 3 and the short sword for 2. Oregano has that wizard's robe, which gives him an AC of 3. Still has the staff. And then I recruited a new barbarian, Jerome the Barbarian. And Jerome has a longsword, which, while it does the same amount of damage as a broadsword, you can use it to fight diagonally. So that's kind of helpful. And so we are going to go through and try to pick up some bounty. Now, when I was making this, I put a chest there accidentally. And so take that with a grain of salt. So I'm going to move our dwarf up to Point Man. And we're going to move here. And basically, we're going to try to clear the place out. So dwarf peeks through. And we roll for our first initiative. Party gets a 2. And there's 2 goblins in the room. And they get a 1. So the orc automatically runs in. Let's see. Who's going to go next? Jerome will go. 5. And then our friendly neighborhood, we'll say the Lulabelle goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there's Oregano. So Lulabelle can get a shot in. We draw from center to center. Actually, I don't think she can because it's going through this hex. So we'll say no. I'm not consistent on that. Okay, everybody's moved. Party gets to go with Jerome Horowitz. Jerome Horowitz goes, and Jerome has a longsword for 3. And let's pull our little thing up here. Monster cards. And now Goblin has a defense of 1, so that's going to be enough to get rid of him. And I'll keep track of these guys over here. We'll put goblins up there. The Lead Belly goes and has an axe for 4. Has an axe to grind with 1. And let's see if the goblin defends at 1. Doesn't make it. So that's it for the goblin. And we roll for, or we draw a card. Let's see. A hazard. Okay, so that poor dwarf just always keeps running into the hazards. Now, 4 body points, is that right? Hero boards, dwarf, 7 body points. Okay, everybody's a little low here. Let's change that to 7. So that'd be 6 because we blew 1. Barbarian had 8. I don't know how we lost a body point. Okay. Lulabelle, our elf, had 6. And the wizard, Oregano, had 4. So, okay, we're good on the wizard. Okay, now we're just going to go through and clear it. So we'll make this pretty much a rote process. Oh, I think I'll move him here and there. Oh, no, we want the staff here. Okay, everybody's in position. We open the door and we roll for initiative. Party gets 2, and there's some orcs and goblins in there, and they get a 4, so they move into place. Now, I don't know if there's anything in these rooms. Let's go check our rooms out. There's a shield in room A. There's a gargoyle with a trapped chest in B. And then the Chaos Warrior has a magic sword. And it's Orc's Bane. So C, there's Orc's Bane where the boss is. Okay. So let's see who goes first. Orc goes first with 2. Party gets a 1. So the orc attacks the dwarf. And orcs have an attack of 3. Makes 1 hit. Dwarf has a defense of, I think, 6. Yep. This dwarf is almost unstoppable. Okay, easily does it. Okay, party gets to go. 3 points on the orc, and an orc defends at 2. So, yeah, that gets rid of the orc. Okay, we roll for initiative again. Party 4. Goblins. Okay, goblin moves up into the conga line of death. Goblin attacks with 2 attack die. Gets the 2. Dwarf tries to save. Makes the save. Dwarf fights back. Gets 1. Goblin defends. And doesn't defend. Okay. Now, let's see. We go to the next turn. 1 for the party. 1 for the orcs, or the goblins. 2 for the party. 5. Okay. Goblin moves in. Goblin attacks with 2. Makes a hit. Dwarf defends. Dwarf goes. 3 hits. That's going to get the goblin. And we're going to move into the hex. And then we go to the next turn. 1 for the party. 1 for them. 6 for the party. 5 for the goblin. So the party goes 1 point. Goblin defends at 1. Makes it. Okay, Goblin fights back. Misses. Okay, we roll for party 2. Goblin 6. Goblin goes with 2, nothing. The dwarf goes with 2, and that's enough. Okay, we've already gotten. We got to keep track of the number because there's a bounty on each of these guys, and they move in. Oh, and then we draw a card. Potion of Strength. So the dwarf gets a Potion of Strength. You get 2 extra combat die. Gonna save that for a big bad. Potion of Healing. Potion of Strength. So the dwarf now has the Potion of Defense, the Potion of Strength, and a Potion of Healing. They check out the room, and then they move on. Doop-de-doop. And doop-de-doop. And then they move into here. Open the door, nothing there. Open the door. Nothing there. Like I say, we're just kind of moving through boots of speed here. And then we've got to decide whether we're going to go odd or even. So we roll, and we get an odd. So we're going to go around this way. So the dwarf goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Followed by, we'll go with the wizard. Followed by the barbarian. Followed by the last guy. The elf. Okay. And then we're going to move on up to here. We can discard that. Everybody moves into place. I think the barbarian will go past everybody and go here. And then the elf will guard the rear. And I forgot to look and see what our wandering monster is. The wandering monster is going to be a Famir. Okay, that's what I kind of figured. It's going to be the toughest monster that they can have. We peek in, and there is a Famir. And we roll for the party. We roll for the Famir. The Famir moves into place. And the Famir attacks with 3 die. The dwarf defends with 6. Makes it. Dwarf attacks with 4 die. Famir defends with 3. Doesn't. Okay, so 2 of those hits go through. Oh, a Famir has 2 body points. Well, that was it for the Famir. Okay, and we draw to see. And we have a wandering monster, which is another Famir. So we'll pull a Famir down. And we want to pull one down because those count for a bounty. Okay, party gets a 2. Famir gets a 5. Basically a repeat of the same thing. Famir's going to attack with 3 die. 1 hit through. Dwarf defends. Easily makes it. Dwarf attacks with 4. And there's 2 that go through. Famir defends with 3. Makes 1, so that leaves 1 point. I didn't realize the Famir was on body points. I guess I hadn't thought of that. Okay, we go to the next turn. Party 1, Famir 5. Famir attacks for 2. Dwarf defends. 1 hit gets through, so the dwarf takes a hit. Okay. And let's see, dwarf gets to go to 3 hits. The Famir defends with 3. So 2. So that's the Famir. And actually, I should have had the wizard using his little pokey stick and the longsword. I forgot that the Jerome Horowitz has a longsword. So moves in. We draw again, and we find a gem for 35. Okay. I don't have a lot of room to put my little notebook, so if you hear me kind of rustling around, that's what's going on. We can discard that. And then we move to the next. Now there's a table in the way here, so. And we get a Famir. Now the Famir will go ahead and fight. And let's see, the party gets 5, Famir gets a 3. So Famir's standing right there. Dwarf goes rushing in. The Barbarian goes rushing in. He goes rushing in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody's in the room. And I've been forgetting to check for traps and secret doors. So, shoot, well, we've been lucky so far. We haven't done the old secret door, so we need to be doing that. Okay, Dwarf goes first with 4. Gets 3 hits. Famir defends with 3. So Famir takes 2 hits, which that's enough for the Famir to go. We draw a card. Oh, another wandering monster. Guess what? That's another Famir. Famir drops out of the ceiling. Poof. And Famir rolls, or the party rolls for 4. Famir rolls a 2, so back to the Dwarf again. Gets 2 hits. Famir defends at 3. Nothing, so that Famir's gone. We'll draw another card. Nothing. Okay, that goes back to the treasure deck. We do a trap roll and find nothing, a secret door roll and find nothing, and we move on. We're just going to keep this going fast. And like I say, this is not a great solitaire game. I don't think it's really made for solitaire. It's really made to be played on a table with the miniatures and get this all out and play with a bunch of people, and that makes it just a lot more fun. But I'm doing this more to show you kind of how it's played. I mean, I'm still having a good time doing this. So, Orc, Dwarf was 5, Orc is 4. I always go with these guys first. So the boop 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 boop. Okay. Dwarf goes first. Gets 2 hits on the Orc. Orc tries to defend with 2 die. Nothing. Okay, so that's it for the Orc. And we draw a card. Another wandering monster. So a Famir comes popping out of the ceiling. And I'm going to say the Famir, who gets to go first? Okay, party goes first with 5 to 4. Yeah, so Famir. Dwarf goes with 1. Famir defends with 2. Nothing. So the Famir takes a point. Okay. The Barbarian goes with 3. And gets 1 through. The Famir defends for 2. Doesn't defend. So the Famir is gone. And we draw a card. And we get 25 gold. So we can discard that. Party checks for traps, secret doors, and we move here. We peek through, nothing there. We go here. And we're back to the boss fight. Okay, the boss fight is here. And let's see here. Okay. So we roll for the party and get a 2, and we roll for the boss and get a 5. So we'll put the cannon fodder in first. Dwarf. Him here, and him here. And then the, we'll just wait. So the Chaos Warrior will wait till the end. And so the, they move first, and we got the goblins. We're going to try to go through the goblins first and attack with 2. They don't do anything. So the party goes. It's 3. So that kills the goblin. Okay, we roll for next initiative. He'll move in. Move here. And we're just going to move forward. And then we roll for initiative. Okay, party 3. Bad guys 1. Dwarf goes with 4, gets a 2 hits against the... we'll go against an Orc. And the Orc has to defend for 2. Does not, so that's the end of that Orc. Okay, and then this guy, the Jerome, will go, and he gets 3. Gets 1 hit through. Orc defends with 2. Does not defend, so that's it for the Orc. And that is the end of the turn. Oh, and then this Goblin gets to go. Gets 1 hit and doesn't make it through. Okay, now we go to the next round. 5 for the party, 3 for the bad guys. The Dwarf's going to charge the Chaos Warrior. He'll move in. He'll move here and then here. Okay, so the Dwarf gets to go first. Misses entirely. Okay. The Barbarian goes. Gets 2 against the Goblin, so the Goblin can't defend. And then the Chaos Warrior gets to go. Chaos Warrior gets a attack 4. It's 2 through, 2 hits. Those are defended. And we go to the next turn. Party gets a 2. Chaos Warrior gets a 4. Party Chaos Warrior goes again. Attacks with 4. Makes 1 through. Misses. We're going to have... He'll go here. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So let's start with... Actually, let's let the elf try. Lulabelle's going to try to take a shot. She gets 3, gets 1 through. The Chaos Warrior defends at 4 and does defend. He's got a shield. Okay. The Barbarian goes. Jerome goes. Gets 2 hits through. Chaos Warrior defends. Those 2 are neutralized. And then finally the Dwarf goes. Gets 3 hits through. Chaos Warrior defends and does not make it. So those 3 hits kill the Chaos Warrior. And the Chaos Warrior had that... draw a card. We find 50 gold pieces. And there was a... what was the artifact? Orc's Bane. It's a magical short sword. You roll 2 combat die to attack. And... it's only 2 die for a short sword. But you can attack twice if attacking an orc. So it can't be used by a wizard. I think this would be a good one for the elf. So the elf's going to take this Orc Bane. And it gets 2 attacks on it. Or, yeah, 2 attacks. So basically you can roll 4. Well, no, you roll 2 separate attacks. Because, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So now she's got that. And like I said, this is a commando raid here, so we are ready to keep moving. I think what we'll do is we're going to cast a spell on the wizard. We'll cast a Water of Healing on the dwarf. So he now has 7. I think the dwarf... Did the dwarf have 8 points or 7? I always have to remember. 7, okay. And we move on. Okay, peeking through that door, we do the same thing. Check for traps, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to say odd, we go this way. Even, we go this way. Odd, we go this way. So dwarf goes... Oh, we could have gone... We're going to say 1, 2... 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's try that again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Dwarf falls in a trap. Misses it. Immediately falls in. Goes tumbling down. Takes a point of damage. And down in the bottom, we got to see what's down there. Ah, Famir. Another Famir. Okay, so the dwarf and a Famir are fighting each other. I'm going to put the Famir right there. We'll see who goes first. Famir gets a 6. Dwarf gets a 5. So the Famir attacks with the 3 points, 3 die. Gets 3 hits. Dwarf defends. And defends with 1. So the dwarf takes 2. Okay. And then the dwarf goes against the Famir. Gets 1 through. The Famir defends at 3. Doesn't defend, so the Famir takes 1. Okay, and then I'm going to say the wizard cast a spell down into the pit. Let's see where we've got our inventory, and we're going to cast Ball of Flame down there. And so we're going to roll 2 5s or 6s. We're going to roll 2 die. Neither one. Okay, so that kills the Famir because neither was a 5 or 6. It was 2 2s. So another Famir. Okay, we can discard that spell, and we can draw another card. Heroic Brew. So the dwarf gets another Heroic Brew. I don't think we're going to need them during this. I think we're cleaning up pretty good. Okay. So the party then, I'm going to see if, so the dwarf climbs out. And let's just say that the barbarian, Jerome, on a 1, 2, 3, or 4, he's going to check for traps. And he doesn't make it. So I was going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, he trips it. So he falls in. Now we know there's 2 traps. And what's in the bottom? 15 gold pieces. And he climbs out. Now, it's on the other side, and there's actually nothing over here. We're going to have to climb back. And so if they get a 1, they're going to fall in. Okay, they both make it. And then we got to decide 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We go this way. And what would be the odds of a 3rd trap? Well, he springs it. So he falls into another pit. And we draw again. And we get a wandering monster. So another Famir. Okay, this Famir, so the barbarian's down there fighting. So Jerome gets a 2, Famir gets a 1, Jerome gets 3 hits. Famir tries to defend with 3 and does not, and he dies. We draw for another wandering monster. Okay. And this time Jerome gets a 2, Famir gets a 5. Famir, it's going to attack with 3. It's 2 hits. Jerome defends with... what was Jerome's defense? I got to check. Jerome... he had a potion of defense, but I think 4. Yeah, because he had a helmet and a shield. Okay, so Jerome defends at 4. And makes it. Okay, now we roll. Okay, Famir goes again. 2 hits. Jerome defends with 1. So Jerome takes another hit point. Okay, and then Jerome, let's see what he's got, because it's looking a little bad. Let's see. He's got a potion of defense, which adds 2 to his defense, and he's got a return ring. Doesn't have much else. I think he's going to fight, and then our wizard is going to throw a fireball down on him. So, first of all, Jerome gets his 4, or 3. 1 hit on a Famir. Famir defends. Gets the 1. Okay, and then the wizard throws a fireball, or flame, ball of flame. And discard that. And then we roll, see if the Famir makes the saves. Doesn't, so that's it for the Famir. Okay, we draw again. I'm going to say, this is getting a little bit, I'm going to say let's draw it again. Okay, hazard. So climbing out the wizard, he takes another body point. And yeah, I think we're going to turn to deck, return to deck. Okay, that's getting a little crazy. Okay, then it's passed. And then we roll to see if everybody needs a 1 to get by the trap. Or they don't need a 1, they need to not make a 1. And the dwarf will move back up to the front of the line. I think we'll cast a heal spell on Jerome. And then that will bring Jerome back up to 8. Okay, we move on through here, down. We peek in the room. And there is another Chaos Warrior. Party gets a 2, Chaos Warrior gets a 3, so Chaos Warrior attacks. And so the Chaos Warrior has an attack of 4. Nothing. Okay, Jerome goes. Gets 1, and the Chaos Warrior gets to defend at 4. Doesn't defend, so Chaos Warrior takes 1. Okay, we go to the next. Okay, and then our barbarian. I'm not Jerome. We were talking about the dwarf. I'm sorry. Now Jerome gets to go with 3. Gets 1 hit through. Chaos Warrior defends at 4. And defends. Okay, we go to the next turn. 4 for the party. 5 for the Chaos Warrior. 4 against Leadbelly, the dwarf, which 1 goes through. Leadbelly defends and doesn't. Oh, makes it. Okay, there's those. And then Leadbelly goes with 2 hits through. Chaos Warrior defends at 4. Nothing. Okay, so that's enough for the Chaos Warrior. And there was a shield in here, but it won't matter because nobody else was going to be able to use it. And then we take a draw. Potion of Healing for the... we're going to pass that off to the Barbarian. Discard. And let's see, the party's there. They move through here and find the secret door and open it. And they go in here. And there's a statue there. And they don't really know what to think about that statue. But when Jerome decides to open that treasure chest, the statue comes alive and turns out to be a gargoyle. Now, is there any treasure in there? B. There we go. So nothing in there. Okay, so the gargoyle gets to go. We haven't seen a gargoyle in a while. Or no, party goes with a 4. Gargoyle gets a 2. Party goes, Jerome's over here. No, Jerome's here. The Leadbelly's over here. Jerome tries to get a 3 attack and gets 2 hits. The gargoyle has a defense of 5 and makes it. Okay. The wizard will cast 2 spells. Let's see. Wizard inventory. I've got Ball of Flame and Genie. And so the Ball of Flame we'll roll twice and gets a 6 and a 2. So one of the hits goes through to the gargoyle. That's it for that one. And then the Genie it's basically a 5-die monster. So we roll for 5. We get 2 hits, and the gargoyle gets to defend at 5. And defends 1. So that's it for 1. Okay. And then the genie goes poof. Now we roll for initiative again. Gargoyle gets 5. Party gets 3. Gargoyle goes against our wizard with 4 die. Oh! Wizard gets to defend at, let's check the wizard defense. Wizard defends at 3 die. Okay. Okay, so the wizard takes 4 hits. Putting the wizard at 0. The wizard will play the card, though. The wizard can try to save themselves. They got that water of healing, so they cast it. And we discard that spell. And we move to the next turn. Or no, we're staying this turn. The wizard could cast Sleep. May not be used. Okay, it can be used. And it's got 1 mind point. Okay. I think we'll cast that. We're just going to have to be really careful. So wizard casts Sleep, and that puts the monster into deep sleep, and basically the gargoyle has to roll a 1 to wake up. Oh, 6. Okay, rolls 1 dice, because that's their mind points. Let's see, is that right? Mind points is 4, rolls 4 die. Okay, that'll work. So first of all, we roll a 3 from our Jerome, and he gets 1 hit through. The gargoyle defends at 5 and saves. Okay, and then I'd say we can fire through there. Yeah, that's it. So the elf will fire. It's a hit. Gargoyle tries to save. Saves. Okay. And we move to the next turn. Party gets 5. Gargoyle gets a 3. Jerome goes first. Gets 1 with no save. And that is enough to change the BP to 0 for the gargoyle. Unfortunately, we don't get any money for him. And we draw for treasure. And we get a gem. A gem. J-I-M. Gem. Gem. 35 gold pieces. Okay. And that's all the further the party can go. So they're going to backtrack all the way back here. Everybody still looks okay. The dwarf could use some healing. Does the wizard have a spell? Okay, the wizard will use the last spell to heal the dwarf. And change BPs to 8. 7. Okay. And they will go here. They'll go back all the way. And I'm going to say they're going to be really careful. Actually, they can go around. What am I saying? They can go around that trap. Okay, we're back on the other side of the dungeon. We peek in. Another Chaos Warrior. Oh, Chaos Warrior gets it. Moves into place. Chaos Warrior rolls a 4 die. 1 hit through. Jerome defends. Does not make it. So Jerome takes a point. Or not Jerome. Oregano. I keep calling him the other guy the wrong guy. Okay, now the oregano can go first. It's 3 hits. Chaos Warrior defends with 4 and gets 2. So Chaos Warrior takes 1. Okay, and then now Jerome goes. 3 gets 2 die. Chaos Warrior defends with 4 and 1 point. Okay, and then the wizard with his little pokey stick gets 1. Chaos Warrior defends with 4 and makes it. Okay, we go to the next turn. Party gets a 5. Chaos Warrior gets a 1. First of all, Lead Belly will go with his 4. Gets 2 through. Chaos Warrior defends. Barbarian goes with 3. Chaos Warrior defends with 1, so 2 hits. And so the Chaos Warrior's eliminated. Now we check for wandering monsters. So a Famir pops out of the ceiling. And we roll a 5 for the party, 2 for the Famir. Famir party will go again. 4 with 2 hits. Famir defends at 3. Okay, and that eliminates the Famir. Yet another Famir. There's a bunch. We roll. Another Famir. I'm going to say we're going to have to roll a second Famir. Potion of Healing. Okay, so the dwarf takes Potion of Healing. Okay. Party moves in, checks for traps, checks for secret doors, finds neither. So they continue on around. We take our battle stations. And whoops. Hit the move. Okay, who goes first? Party gets a 5. These orcs get a 3. So party moves in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then here and here. Oh, I need my orc killer sword. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to let Lulabelle go first because she's got the orc killer sword. And she gets 2 die, but she gets to do it twice. So she goes 2 for the first orc, misses. And then twice for the second orc, gets 2 hits. And the orc gets to defend at 2 and does not. So she's able to do in the orc. And we'll put him with our other orcs. And then dwarf didn't get to do anything. Jerome goes with 3. He gets 2 hits. Orc defends at 2. And he defends 1, but the other hit gets through. And that kills the orc off. And let's see. Discard and return to pile. Hazard. So just then he trips over his shoelaces and falls over and takes a point of damage. Okay, we check for traps, we check for treasures, neither and neither. And we go here. And okay, and this is the next to last. There's 2 goblins here. Okay, let's see who goes first. They peek in. Party gets a 4. Party gets a 5. Man, we're matching them. Party gets a 2. Okay, these guys get a 1. So this guy will go. And I'm going to say the goblins hear the commotion and they will come in on the next turn. So orc gets to go first. Misses. Okay. Lead Belly goes. Gets 2 hits on an orc. Orc tries to save. Does not. So that's it for the orc. He moves into place. We go to next turn. 5 for the party. 4 for the bad guys. And we'll start with the dwarf. He gets 4. Oh my gosh. Okay. Chaos Warrior can defend at 4 and does not. So that is the end of the Chaos Warrior. Okay, we'll put the Chaos Warrior down here. Let's pull a card. Treasure is nothing. Okay. And just then these two goblins come rushing down the hall. And we're going to say they attack the Jerome, just to make it interesting. Let's just say attack die of 2. 2 hits. Jerome tries to defend at 4 and defends. Okay, we go to the next turn. Party gets a 4. Goblins get a 1. Jerome attacks with a 3. Gets 1 hit. Goblin defends at 1. Does not defend. So that's it for the goblin. And the other goblin moves into place. Attacks. Gets 1 hit. Jerome defends. Jerome fights back. Gets 2 hits, which that'll eliminate the goblin. Goblin only has 1 defense die. And that is it. Okay, and then I'm going to say that pretty much cleared the dungeon. I think there was something in that room, and I think it was just a shield, which, again, nobody can use at this point. So we are, let's see, anything else? Nope. So 20 for goblins, 30 for orcs. No, 10 for goblins, 20 for orcs, and 50 for chaos warriors. So let's see how much the bounty was. So there's 200. And then the Famir were 9. 32. So there's 320. There's 520. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 620. 640, 660. 670, 680, 690, 700, 710, 20, 30, 40, 50. 750 gold pieces. And that ends the Bastion of Chaos. This is kind of a fun one. Just clearing the dungeon out. It's kind of fun. Not much treasure here, but that's okay. Okie doke. We're coming down to the end, and I think these last 3 are pretty hard, if I remember right. This one was kind of a break, but it will get harder. So we will see you next time.